Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure that we can be here and talk a bit about the story, brutally honest as we can, and how we achieved that over the first 3 years launching our company, how we grew about 1,400%.
Um, well, we're totally excited to speak here today to you and tell you something about the lunch. When we founded our company 5 years ago in Augsburg, it's a very small town near Munich. Nobody knew about startup either, so it wasn't the best place to start. So, and now we're standing here in front of you, and we are very proud to present to you our company. But the question today is, why should anybody found something? Of course, to get rich and famous. But I can tell you, if you want to get rich and famous, try the lottery. Then you have might be better chances to get it. No, I'm joking. Founding is nice.
Okay.
Yeah, founding is nice. But why should anybody found something? Jetzt will ich raus. Mal weiter.
No problem. I can take it. So when we thought about launching a startup in the beginning, we were looking for an idea, of course, and we had, I don't know, over thousands of ideas, including restaurants or e-commerce business or something else. And I think it was like in a moment when we were very, very hungry, or maybe we ate too much Leberkäsemmeln, and we are from Munich. So we thought it would be a good idea to create a healthy alternative for lunch breaks in offices. And we thought it should be very healthy, it should be easy to use, it should be vegan and hip, everything that was hip to that time. But the most important thing we wanted to create was something everyone knows and something that has a very, very big market, so that we have nothing to explain. And there was one simple product that combined all that, and that was soup. So now we're a soup company.
But how to cook it? Sounds easy. Just putting some vegetables into a blender, fit into a glass jar. So we looked for a cook and tried to cook some soups in a restaurant kitchen overnight. The future plan was to hire, let's say, 100 students to cook the soups overnight in restaurants. Unfortunately, on the next day, we saw that every jar was moldy and no more eatable. So we failed in the first time. Yeah, so we had a problem because we wanted to start our online shop just in a few weeks. So what to do? Daniel said, let's go Google for a supplier. And I said, if you have a supplier, you need to pay it. So next thing was how to finance it. So if you need some soups to buy, you need to pay it. So we tried everything. We asked some banks, we had some pitch contests, asked friends and family. But if you go with the soup idea to a bank 5 years ago, it wasn't possible to get money anyway.
Simply too boring.
It was too boring. But in the end, we found the GLS bank. It's a bank for sustainability, and they supported us with a little money.
So we got two things. We knew that we are not able to cook soups by our own. Yeah, we should know that before. And we had 40,000 euros. So we had two very, very good things. So we made ourselves on the search for a supplier. And of course, you Google something and you find big companies. The problem was the minimum order value of our soups was, I think, 100,000 pieces per soup, so 500,000. And with 40,000 euros, it gets a bit hard to get this financed. So we were very, very lucky to find a producer in Italy that just built a new factory. And normally when they build a new factory, they need to test it. And everything you put in and the soup that comes out, they throw it in the trash. So they were very, very happy that we two idiots came and said we would pay for that trash. And so we found someone that made the first 50,000 soups for us, but to be honest, the taste was awful. But we had the first 50,000 soups and we could start a business. So the next step was I just built a very simple website where I wrote on, we are looking for testers, soup testers. which sounds like it's for free, but it wasn't. Of course, we wanted money for that. But as we got our first article, it was in the Gründerszene at this time, we got at least 100 customers that were willing to pay for our first soups, which was great. So we had the first 100 customers. The problem was, after 1 month, the sales went down again, of course, because we have only 100 customers and everyone tasted it before. So we thought, let's try something like going to organic shops, like Basic. And this absolutely failed because we brought the soups to them because there was a testing or something, and we were very excited. And 1 week after, we called them, and they just said, I don't know, someone just took them, ate them, and no one ever tested them. So we failed that too. So we thought, okay, what to do? How to grow? Let's Google how to sell soups online fast. And when you do that, you get something like do marketing. Okay, we want to do marketing. The problem was all the 40,000 euro we got before, we spent all that money for the soups we bought. So we have nothing left. So I thought, where is the possibility to get marketing for free? And you know what comes now, because you saw it before. You just go to a TV show, because there are 2 or 3 million people watching. You get marketing for free, and maybe you get some money too. So we did that, and they wanted us to join the show. And the problem was the first soups we had were so bad. And please, this is a secret, don't tell anyone. We got 1-star chef making soups for us. We just froze them, went to the show and presented them. And Judy Williams, one of our investors, she was like, she tasted it and said, wow, this is the fucking best organic soup that I've ever eaten. I know, because it was from a 1-star chef, not ours. But she even got Frank Thielen on board, and so we got 2 investors and I think 150,000 euros. And we thought, now we made it. Yeah, now it's getting into the rich course. What you really get is you get 10,000 emails and 50,000 euro revenue during the show. So we got 150,000 plus the 50,000, so 200 or something. And we went into the next problem because the producer was still like, no, we just produced 500,000 pieces for you. And you cannot buy that for 100, 200,000 euros. So we thought, let's use TV again.
Yeah, and after our first presence at the show Die Höhe der Löwen, we got a recap just to show what we reached until this time. And with this argument, we negotiated a deal with Rewe. The plan was to show a little lunch at the Rewe store and tell all the people who watched this, you said it, 3 million around, that we are now in all Rewe stores. And this is what we told in TV. We are now in all Rewe stores. The reality was a little bit different, unfortunately. We was in all markets. The Rewe boss gave us just 100 Rewe city markets. The problem was that a lot of people went to the markets the next day after the show and wanted to buy the soup, but there was no soup. The Rewe boss called me after this. He wasn't amused, but the next step, he bought all the soups we had in stock at this time.
Yeah, he said, give me anything you have. Give me just anything you have. And so this was when it started for us in Rewe.
Yeah, and this is how a shelf looks today in a Rewe market. I think we are around in 15,000 markets today over Rewe, Edeka, Rossmann, and so on. And this is how it should look like. With this range of soups, we focus just on soups and stews. We have a little more products, but this is what we focus in. So we have soups and stews. And you can find it in all stores.
So now I forgot what the next was. Yeah, I know. Why we are here sitting on the stage is because 2 years ago, we had the pleasure to join the Wachstumsranking of Gründerszene. And we made a 2nd place, and I think it was something like digital. We're soups, but we won the 2nd place in digital. And one thing we are extremely proud of, and I need to show that, is that we made it as a small startup, a food startup in the supermarkets. We won all the big prizes from the retailers, like Top Market 2018 and Produkt des Jahres 2018. And if you see that there's written Österreich. That's wrong. I googled the wrong image.
Still wrong.
And it's still wrong. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it was wrong last time. And we made it to 1,400% growth, which means in numbers we started with, in the first year, 50,000 euro revenue, and I think this year we're going to have something like 15 million. So worked for us. And at the end, I just thought about what are the key things we learned during the last 5 years, and maybe this helps you, maybe not, or maybe you know it before, but these things were really the most important things we learned and helped us growing sustainable. And the first thing was focus. We started doing soups, and I know that one of the, I don't know, it was the guy from Rewe said, don't you want to sell also smoothies, for example? And we thought, okay, let's make 1 million with soups. When I have smoothies, I make another million. But this is absolutely and terribly wrong, because we have a small team, we have small time, and when you divide that by 50%, you can just do 50% soups and 50% of the smoothies. So you won't get double the revenue. It gets even worse. So focus on the product you can, on the market. Don't go in 200 countries for just like €1 revenue in every country. Focus on your key. Investors, and now this is just for Frank Thelen, this is one of our investors. If he wouldn't been there, we have never been gone to Rewe, for example, because when I call the Rewe guy, it just says, what the fuck are you going to tell me? And Frank Thelen is like, hey man, I'm Frank Thelen, I have a startup, and I want you to join the startup in Rewe. And that worked very, very good. So choose the right investor, not just the money, someone who really can help you. And the last thing, and we learn, we get to know a lot of new startup founders, and a lot of them are just bitchy. And we really don't like that, because when you behave like that in front of your employees, they won't do anything for you. So do anything for them, give them a lot of love, as much love as you can. Give them fitness and free timing and enough money and everything. Be a honey, and you will get anything from them. And the last thing, which I think is the most important one, is why should you fund a startup? Is, of course, for the money a bit. But this shouldn't be the most important thing of all, because when you just do it for the money, you cannot get successful. You need something like a deeper passion, and in our case, it was, we learned over the last 5 years with our employees that you need something, I don't know, you need to do it for something else just for the money. So we try to do this, we are trying to do this. We are a carbon neutral company. We planted about, I don't know, 20,000 trees. We don't do something like Black Friday, we do Green Friday. We have Christmas thing, and gave a lot of money to SOS Kinderdorf. So I think this is key for being successful and grow as fast as you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the lecture, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. It's great to see that companies like Little Lunch do really have an impact on not only what we eat, but also, since we are talking about being more sustainable, having an ecological interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love that.
I wonder if you guys have any questions. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah. Wait 1 second. There you go.
What happened to the soup from the star chief? Was he involved somehow in the later soups?
Oh,
Yeah,
he got €1,000 for one recipe. I think this was his involvement, but nothing more.
No, he developed the first 5 recipes, and now our head of product is doing this.
Happy us.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I have one more question. Why actually organic soups? Why not like organic salads, for example?
Well, we thought about doing salads, but we thought we need something that we two idiots can produce and send to people, and doesn't
Yeah, it need to be scalable. You know, you cannot scale salad because salad is going bad in the next day, and soup has a shelf life of 2 years. So we decided for soup in Germany. It's a soup market, so why not?
Yeah, and the idea was that your boss has in the kitchen a whole bunch of soups, let's say 50, and every employee can just go in and pick something. And when you have salads, you can just do it for 1 day. And these soups have a shelf life of 2 years, so it's very, very easy to use, and that's very important.
Yeah, true that. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.